informal speech 何ですか？
Informal speech. So when you talk when you talk to familiar people, so like friends, family, yeah, or so inner circle, so you can use informal speech. And so if you don't use informal speech about in this circle, so maybe so everyone feels like so do you want so you want to separate with us, like that.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's why so student need to study short form also.
Yeah. Okay. So in the explanation, Andy explained what's occasion you're gonna say, and there are several occasions. So let's listen.
Okay.
Short forms in informal speech. This is going to be how we use what we just learned in the last section. So the first thing to cover is that informal forms in conversation are generally only used between family members, among equals, and by equals I mean equals in both rank within a company and age or grade in school. Close friends, very close friends, even if their age is a little bit different, if they're really close friends, it doesn't matter so much. They may use casual forms anyway. For example, I'm really good friends with a bunch of old guys at my community center, and generally when we speak to each other, we all use informal Japanese. We're also usually a little bit tipsy, so that helps loosen it up a little bit. Also, when you're speaking to children, you are generally going to use short forms. And when you're speaking to your subordinates or people who are younger than you, you're going to be using short forms. So people who have been at a company, you've been there for 4 years, they've been there for 4 months, you're going to speak to them in informal, casual Japanese, generally speaking, and they'll probably be using more formal Japanese with you. So in the dialogue today, we have a character who speaks using formal Japanese. They're probably younger than the person they're speaking to. And the other person is using informal Japanese so that you can get a better idea of that. Some other things to...
Okay. Yes. So what kind of people you're gonna say? Family. Family. Do you use formal speech in your family member with your family member?
Okay, informal speech. I use informal speech.
Do you use formal as well?
Formal?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So sometimes I get angry, and so I use
Formal speech.
formal speech.
Yeah. Sometimes people get angry. People wanna be like sarcastic. They use formal
Sarcastic.
speech.
So I want to use sarcastic.
You
Yeah.
wanted to say sarcastic. Yeah. Okay. Equals. What equals mean by what means equals?
Equals. Equals. He said. なんだったっけ? Oh, I forgot. Equals.
He said
なんだっけ? I forgot.
the same rank. Same rank.
Same one.
The same rank people or the same age.
Same age. Same age.
And close friends.
Close friends.
And children. Yeah, when you speak to children, do you use informal speech?
No, informal speech. I use informal speech.
Yeah. Why?
Why? Why? So, okay, like not the subordinate, but so like maybe down, down. So I'm higher, and then so they are lower.
I think that children's like a social area is really narrow because children basically their community is either school or the house, like family, so they have no occasion to use formal speech, generally speaking, so that we assume they do not know formal speech much. That's why we speak what they can understand, which is informal speech. It should be informal speech because that's the language they start and then
Yeah,
they
I
grow.
think so.
Yeah,
So
so we want to be
parents,
understood. That's why we use what they can understand.
so parents, the Japanese people, many Japanese people think so. Uh, for formal speech is more difficult. So for Japanese, and then so that's why so we talk with children, so we don't use formal speech, and so try to use informal speech maybe. So one of the reason maybe.
So, um, subordinate. This means, if you go to school, you're a student,
Mm,
then you kind of subordinate a position. That's
mm,
why you're not gonna use informal speech towards teacher, but teacher might use you sub informal speech. So both teacher, older people use informal speech towards you. That's the structure. Like high rank people,
mm,
older age people, they
mm.
use informal speech. So if you are in the lower position, you do not need to use informal speech, or more like you shouldn't use informal
Yeah,
speech.
you shouldn't
Yeah.
use.
So because the structure doesn't change, they are like a boss,
Mm,
teacher,
mm, mm, mm,
or
mm.
like older people, then and you are here subordinate position, so they go informal speech, you go formal speech, and this structure never change. So you cannot be affected by the speech, your boss speech style. You have to stay on that speech style you have to stick to, which is formal speech. Okay.